What's up, family? It's your boy Gaines, and welcome to Work Plus Gains. Today, I'm going to be covering a tough topic because it's very personal to me. So it's about what happens when trust, child safety is violated, and the system lets us down. Let's get right into it. Back in 2016, Brandon Keith Riley Mitchell, a chemistry teacher at Downingtown West High School in Pennsylvania, made headlines for all the wrong reasons. He was charged with felony child pornography and corruption of minors after exchanging over 12,000 text messages with a 6-year-old male student. Yes, 12,000. Court records show Mitchell sent 20 nude photos of himself, asked the student for explicit images, and even suggested sexual acts. Police found hundreds of explicit videos on his laptop. He told the teen to delete their chats to cover his tracks. Mitchell pled guilty, served 2 months of a 23-month sentence, and was banned from unsupervised contact with minors. He also lost his teaching license and moved on to a job in Lancaster Pharmaceutical Lab. That's the backstory straight from Chester County DA's record. Now, fast forward to today, 2025. A viral video of Mitchell and his husband, Logan Rowley, a Maryland second grade teacher, celebrating their newborn son through surrogacy, has taken a dark turn. Posted on their social media and reposted by an activist on X, their video racked up millions of views until it was revealed that Mitchell is a registered Tier 1 sex offender in Pennsylvania. And I would like to say that there's tons of people who, before this information came out, was supporting this whole cause, this whole movement. But let's keep going. The couple raised over $2,000 on GoFundMe. Yes, they raised over $2,000 on GoFundMe for their surrogacy journey, which is a popular trend that's growing up on TikTok, on these platforms where people of the same sex are starting GoFundMes and documenting their journey to get support and backing and to get the community to be more open to this idea. And I know this firsthand. But I would like to continue with the story. So after they've raised $2,000 on GoFundMe, people started to notice nowhere did they disclose Mitchell's conviction. So I'm pretty sure the mom, did not know of this. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But Pennsylvania laws allow pre-birth orders, which let intended parents like Mitchell and Riley be named on the birth certificate without the same scrutiny as adoption. So they found a loophole. Do y'all think it's a loophole? Now, this raises a big question we need to ask ourselves. Did they figure out a loophole in the system? Offenders. Are our kids now safe? And I'm saying our kids because we're all part of this village, this community. Let me know down in the comments what you think. All right, this story for me personally hits hard because something like this similar has happened to me and my own siblings when we were in care of a woman at a daycare center who tried to push on me and my sister, and she was a woman. Also, more recently, something that has happened to my own nephew with a relative on a certain side of the family who should have been trusted. I've never met this man, but he should have been trusted, or at least that side of the family seem like they trust him because he's been around a lot of my nephews. I have a lot of nephews. And things have been coming out that this man was doing similar things, was using money and funds and gifts to try to get my nephew to send him messages, pictures, and do certain acts onto him. I didn't mention earlier that teacher was asking that kid to do a beat and a jab for him, on him. Same similar thing has happened to my nephew, so this makes me frustrated. There's women in my community that I have talked to who mom were trusting female-operated daycares just because they were women. They believed that nothing was going to happen to their daughters. And these women I was very friends with, and they just had one of these nights where they wanted to share because I love to talk about life with people, and I'm very invested into my community, very invested. I've been trying to save the world through my own works and deeds, which I feel like is just a task that I can't do alone. But women have shared with me after they're grown and they looking at the damage that their mom trusted them in a female daycare, and these women mess with them. And also, these moms live in their own lifestyle. Some of them were into the same sex. Daughters must have inherited what their moms were doing, and it went unchecked. And while the mom was gone, these children of these women further preyed on these girls when they were younger, putting them in showers, doing all kind of stuff. And now I'm sitting there in a car at their house talking to these women. They're crying because these women have grew. The parent, the mom, and the daughter have grown in popularity in the communities, in the cities. And I could not pressure them at the moment to speak out. Over time, I've said something to them, but they don't even know how to do it, how to attack them now. Why? Because they're too popular. They're too big. So I want y'all to know this isn't just a man with man or a woman with woman. This also is in mom and dad homes. We have to protect these children. I've heard of stories of mom and son being a little too intimate. I've heard of dads with daughters being too intimate. There's things we need to focus on. This T app has made me just realize there's a war going on being created between men and women, but we really need to come together and not just try to expose man, but expose whatever that's just being corrupted or corrupting our communities. I would like to share one more story, my own personal story. So my father wasn't always in my life, but there was a time I spent some time with him, took me over his house. And I remember the next morning I woke up and there were some kids outside playing. And as soon as I went outside, I didn't see them. And I just went back inside and I was like, man, I know there's some kids outside playing. And I really want to catch these kids because where my dad lived at, I normally wouldn't see kids outside or see any kids for the most part. So I eventually went outside and just hung out for a few hours in my dad's driveway waiting for these kids to reappear. And next you know, they did. They came up to the top of the hill because I lived at the top of the hill. And when they came up, I saw them. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go hang out with them. Ran over there and I went to go play with them. They had little Hot Wheel cars, construction cars. The little girl had like a Barbie doll, and I think she had like a Barbie limo car. And they're a couple years younger than me. I'm probably about, I would say 8 years old. So they're probably like 5 and 4. So I'm hanging out with these kids playing with them. And then the daycare lady come outside. I can tell she has a daycare at her house. She calls them down to the house and they go. And then she yells to me, hey, you can come too. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go back to my dad's house. There ain't really much in there for me. So let me go play with the kids. So I went down there to go play with the kids. And as I get to the yard is fenced in. It has a metal fence around it, not a wooden, but a metal one. And I see a bunch of toys and a playground. And I think I see like a daycare center sign. I just can't remember the name of the daycare. So I go into the house. It's a blue house with a black door. And I walk inside. There was toys all on the floor. And then this lady was breastfeeding a little baby. I don't know. Could have been like 5, 6 months old. So the kids were playing in the front room. I look up, she disappears. And then she comes back, the baby's gone. So I'm thinking she put the baby down in the bed, the crib, somewhere. She calls me into the kitchen while the other kids stay in the front room and they're playing. And she started asking me questions. I'm not going to say everything, but she started asking me questions, trying to get to know me. Next you know, she ended up asking me, have I ever seen breasts before? Me feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't know. Thinking about her breastfeeding the baby, like, yeah, probably, yeah. She's like, do you like breast milk? I was like, I don't know. I've never had it. Pull her breast out and was like, look, and squeeze it and show me she has breast milk. And then she proceeded to ask me, do I want to try some? And I just felt super uncomfortable. Next you know, she had me touch. And then she put some on her finger, put it in my mouth. And I just felt some type of way. So then she started asking me other stuff to do. And I'm just like looking in the front room for these kids to come and just save me. Like, kid, like, no, you're not supposed to do this. The kid came to the front of the entrance and just said something to her. And I think like a drink. So she gets up, go to the refrigerator to get it. I jet towards the front door. The front door was locked. She told me, no, wait. And I unlocked the door. It had a little knob, a little button on it. So I unlocked it. Boom. pushed the door open up the gate, didn't even shut it, just ran up to the top of the hill, ran to my dad's house, and was just sitting there trying to act normal, not freak out, because I wasn't supposed to leave the driveway. And my dad just came, was like, you want us to get something to eat from McDonald's? Sure. And never said nothing to him about it. This is the first time I'm speaking about this publicly. So I just wanted to say this, because this isn't a couple's thing. This isn't a man thing, a woman thing. This is a community thing about protecting these children. It's not also about the same sex. It's about children sometimes are threatened by grown people, and we have to speak up on the red flags we see. And I do feel like we can, as a community, prevent this. My first thing I think we can do is request the laws be stricter. Definitely when it comes to adoption and surrogacy, since that is becoming a popular trend and it seemed like they found a loophole. They need to get the same scrutiny as a person trying to adopt a parent, or a parent trying to adopt a child. Also, for the ones who are not being adopted, I think people in the community, if you're seeing kids being touched up on by grown-ups in an appropriate way in public, we need to start speaking up a little bit. I don't know exactly how to go about it, because it can be tricky. So if y'all know some tips on like how to address that part, put some stuff in the comment. But I do feel like we need to speak up as a community. There are red flags. There are things that we should be able to spot or see. A third one, I'm not for sure, but I just know there's steps. So please help me out with this. I need the village to help. These are our children, all of ours. So I also want to let y'all know, I'll keep y'all updated if anything else comes up. If I miss it, forgive me. But I'll try to keep y'all informed. But please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm your boy Gaines. This is Work Plus Gaines channel, and we're out.